Why, hello there. Today we will be traveling to Guildford Castle, the first of our mini castle visits, and a great way to get to know our new home here in England. First though, a bit about where we are. This is England, and this is Surrey. Located in Surrey is the town of Guildford, historically along a major trading route between London and all ports south as well as destinations to the west. Within Guildford is our temporary home, the University of Surrey. And just down the way and across the river, Guildford Castle. There's a lot to see at Guildford Castle, it seems. But let's start with the castle itself. Now first, this is a castle, but perhaps not the exact type of castle you're expecting. It may not have the appearance that you're used to when you think about a castle. It originally housed a great tower, or a keep, as they're oftentimes called, surrounded by a wall. And that's about all you need to be a castle, despite our Disney-fied ideas of what castles are. This wasn't a castle built for extravagance or to be a symbol of wealth and class. No, this castle was to be a symbol of power. After William the Conqueror's conquest of England in 1066, he built many such castles all over England in order to demonstrate strength and to discourage or otherwise handle rebellion, which was sure to come, since you had a Norman upstart who had just taken the throne of England. So everybody expected there to be some problems. Guildford's location, as I mentioned before, along some major trading routes, made it an ideal location for one of these sorts of fortifications to discourage troublemakers. Although the original was probably just a wooden palisade on a mound with a moat or a ditch dug around it, it developed and grew over time to become much more. By the 1130s, they built the keep, which we recognize today, which was probably built to be the king's private apartments. When he was in the area, he needed somewhere to stay. The first floor had a main chamber, a chapel, a wardrobe chamber, as well as a 2-seater latrine. Fancy. By the 12th century, its purpose had changed, and it had become a headquarters for the local sheriff, as well as a jail for both Surrey and Sussex. And so they needed to make some renovations and changes to accommodate that, and additions as well. Throughout its history, Guildford Castle was primarily used as a residence. It was never actually attacked in its long run, although it was occasionally used as a mustering point for soldiers who would take military action in other locations. Although it is worth noting that, while, as I said, it has never been attacked, it has been taken over once. That's a weird thing they figured out there, but it was taken over without any fighting. So it technically wasn't attacked. It was just handed over, and I guess that doesn't count. Despite its lack of extensive military use, it was added to again in 1173. But after a series of rebellions came to an end, the castle came into disrepair and disuse, and by 1379, it had pretty much all fallen down, with the exception of one room, the King's Great Chamber, of course. That's probably what made it great. Not really. Later, it would be partially restored as a hunting lodge where royalty could stay when they were going hunting at the royal park that was across the river. Maybe not too far from where we're staying right now. And then it went through a series of renovations and different owners and keepers that were in charge of keep taking care of it over time, and on and on and on. And it continued on like that until 1885, when Lord Grantley Wannersh, I don't know, crazy British words, Lord Grantley Wannersh, I'm going to say, who owned a lot of the estate at that point, having had it passed down through family, sold it to the Guildford Corporation. Within 3 years of purchasing, the Guildford Corporation opened the grounds as a Victorian pleasure gardens after restoring the wall and the tower. Then finally, in 2003 and 2004, it went through one more major renovation where they actually added in, brought back some of the original features, which through study and what have you, they discovered was originally there. They forgot to put them on when they restored it. Now they've added them back in just, a decade ago. Today, the Guildford Castle grounds include several features, including the castle itself, complete with a model of what the original castle looked like. It also includes a war memorial commemorating those from Guildford who died during World Wars I and II, and also has other places to visit, like Peake's Pond, named for an 1860s surveyor and architect who worked for the borough, and some beautiful garden areas that house an area for games called the Bowl Green, a Victorian bandstand, because you can't have a Victorian pleasure garden without a bandstand, and a statue commemorating Lewis Carroll, author famous for the Alice in Wonderland series, who lived in a nearby home called the Chestnuts in the last years of his life. And naturally, there is the Guildford Museum, located in the renovated Castle Gatehouse, which, if the information on their website is up to date, will feature exhibits on World War I and Guildford's role in it while we're there, but is also undergoing some renovation due to some damage over the winter. So we are about to walk in the footsteps of kings, conquerors, and inmates. Perhaps more than that, we're about to stand where the common people have stood for thousands of years. People who toiled in the shadow of a great tower and carved out a life that would make everything that we see, do, and are possible. From a sign of strength to a pleasure garden that can take you through the looking glass. Let's stop talking about this piece of history. Let's get out there and see it.